Hi everybody, Craig here. Welcome to my third episode of my first Age of Wonders 3 playthrough. Let's recap sort of what happened in our last episode. So unfortunately, I ended up losing my second city here. It was taken over by some scoundrels, which was a really unfortunate development. And of course that was my fault for leaving it too thinly defended. But in other news, on the positive side of things, our heroes are both doing very well. Draezad is at level 7 and now has the ability to greater reanimate undead, and Sheila is right behind in that ability as well. She should have it quite soon herself. So let's see what the plan is. So we're starting this new turn. We're on turn 16 here. So let's start with production for Destara. So we finished an Embalmer's Guild. So let's see what else we could produce. I think we'll go with the Cathedral of Bones next. Again, we really want to keep that the population growing. Try and get that city expanding a little bit further. For our new city of Dorvar, I think we're going to go with the Harvester's Guild again, just to kind of get it established. Get a little bit of population growth happening in the city. And it looks like we may have a portal to the Shadow Realm right here. So that's going to be interesting as well. Okay, so now the question is, do we try raiding one of these tombs? I think the answer is going to be yes. Let's take a peek and see what's in here. Okay, so we're really going to want to try and get this Tigran Deathbringer. That's going to give us a lot of options here in terms of what we can do. So I think we are going to try this battle out. Okay. So I'm going to throw Frozen Flames on our Mammoth here. And we are going to use the Mammoth and the Cadavers as damage sinks here, basically as shields to guard our other units. Kind of the classic strategy that I've been using for a lot of these battles. Don't want to overextend. Especially these Deathbringers, they can shadow step. And basically, almost like phase, they can jump in behind our units. As you saw them do right there. But this is actually really good for us, because what you can see here, once this turn is done, the Deathbringers are now able to be attacked from all sides here by our different units. So let's hit them really hard. Let's see, can we get the kill here? We will be very, very close. Nobody's touching this Mammoth, so let's actually, why don't we just bring the Mammoth in for the kill? Perfect. And then, here's the whole thing right here. This is probably the most important skill, like I said, for Necromancers. Greater Reanimate Undead. The important part here is that units of any tier can be brought back, and it doesn't have to be your unit that you're reviving. Boom. There we go. We now have a Tier 3 Tigran Deathbringer. The most important thing about Deathbringers, they're a decent melee unit with Shadow Step and Tireless, which is great. That means that they don't use up their action points on retaliation or attacks of opportunity, but they also can't be flanked, which is really nice. But the biggest thing here is Inflict Ghoul Curse. So basically every time these units melee a living unit that isn't a elemental, machine, incorporeal, dragon, or other undead unit, there's a chance that that unit will become cursed, meaning that if that unit is killed and I win the battle, that unit will come back on my team as a ghoul, which is absurdly powerful, honestly. It makes for a really, really dangerous combo here of my ability to basically just grow my army really, really quickly using all of these different abilities that my Necromancers have. So anyway, enough yammering about how good that is. Let's let's finish up this battle and make sure we don't do anything stupid here to jeopardize our new acquisition. So, you know, I could try. I'm going to try it. Let's see if we can do it. Oh, and we got lucky. So we just got 2 for the price of 1. Talk about a bonus. So there we go. Not only did we acquire a Tigran Deathbringer, we also acquired an Orc Reanimator. Amulet of the Cursed Widow. Okay, so basically it would give the unit fearsome. That's actually pretty strong. I think I'm going to take that, and I'm actually going to give it to Draezad here. So that way, if anybody hits them, they have a chance to be panicked, just like I was a monstrous creature or something like that. So that's quite a strong item. I think next we will move down. How close is Sheila? Oh, very close. I am tempted to try this battle out now that I have the ability to Ghoul Curse. Let's see. Well, we aren't able to make it all the way down, so we'll have to just chill this turn anyway. I think at this point we are definitely going to be splitting our army here, so let's kind of decide how we want to do that. So I think I'm going to keep Draezad with the Mammoth and possibly the Reanimator for sure. That way I've got a melee and a ranged unit. And then I have to decide here who gets the Deathbringer. The other option would be to send this Wraith King over to support, maybe taking back the city up here, as we are going to be able to potentially acquire more of these guys. Although, again, we don't have a healing unit for our main city. For this army stack doesn't have a healing unit, as you can see here. None of them have Heal Undead. I'm going to have to think about this one for a minute. We do really need to get this city back ASAP. That's going to be a top priority, I think. How quickly can it get there? It can be there in 3 turns. So we could advance this army. We're going to have another Lost Soul. I think with 2 Lost Souls and 2 other units, I think we'll be able to take it. So I'm actually not that concerned. So we're going to keep going strong with this army setup that we've got here. So let's just bring the Wraith King in. I had to kind of think through that one. And with that, our turn is over. Oh, I saw a unit coming out of there. We don't want to repeat the mistake we just made, so we're going to need another unit on here, I think, quite quickly. Omen of the Dove has just started here. All players cannot declare war. All physical damage is reduced by 3. Fortunately, as halflings, we do that frost damage, so that's actually going to have less of an impact on us and more of an impact potentially on our opponents, which is actually kind of nice. Now the question is, do I want to leave somebody behind? I could risk it. I could. That's a bit of a dangerous game to play. Let's take this army and advance on the city. Both of these Lost Souls will be able to pass the wall and also will come back if they get killed. And let's see what spells this guy has. So he has Star Blades and Sphere of Protection, so I could cast Sphere of Protection on one of the Lost Souls to keep it alive and let it get over the wall. And then I think I'll be able to basically murder those darn scoundrels that wronged me. So let's split this army, and then I think we're actually going to attack this box of Cataclysm here. So let's initiate the combat. We'll just have to be careful of that Node Serpent's phase ability. But you might actually get to see this Ghoul Curse in action here. I'll try it out and see if I can potentially convert that Node Serpent. Now it's important to note that because this air elemental is an elemental, I'm not able to Ghoul Curse it. However, the Node Serpent is a magical origin, but not elemental, therefore I should be able to Ghoul Curse it. Okay, so we've got a Wyvern, which are quite annoying with their ability to fly over everything. Get our Cadaver in there to soak up some hits. Pull some of the aggro a little bit. I think we're going to basically just send in our Retaking, which is quite tanky. It's quite a tanky unit. Get our Deathbringer in to back it up. Now we're going to have to be sort of careful over here because we don't want this Node Serpent coming in and butchering our hero, which is a distinct possibility. So I'm actually going to hide Draezad a little bit. The White Witch should be able to tank the hits because obviously quite a bit of health now with that champion. I'm actually going to go for... There we go. Get involved there. And then we'll soften up this as well. And in terms of Sheila, we'll get her involved a little bit as well. And if he goes down, that is okay. We can revive him. Remember, both heroes have the ability to revive tier 2 units without any real problems. And a Wyvern, I believe, is a dragon type unit. Yes. So dragons cannot be Ghoul Cursed as well. So we won't be able to take advantage of cursing this unit as well. I think I'm actually going to keep turning them around, basically. There we go. Okay, now, before this battle ends, we got to remember to revive this Frostling Mammoth Rider because it's a gold medal unit. We don't want to lose him. That would be a huge waste of experience, all that time we spent building him up, so really got to make sure we don't forget about that. Nice, got a little flank attack there. And then we will get our Deathbringers ready. And again, with Draezad here, we're going to just drop a quick heal, I think. Okay, that's a great position. So, we can get a nice flanking attack. So we have 50% chance to Ghoul Curse, or it'll be immune. Oh, and we got it. Wow. Boy, we are just, I guess some of that halfling luck rubbed off on us from last battle, hey? When we, in that last episode when I fought those halflings, I guess some of that must have carried over. Because, boy, we are getting lucky with our recruiting of enemy units here. Okay. Why is this showing Cadaver? Oh, right, because the Mammoth Rider is a little bit further back. Okay, well, we will revive the Cadaver like this. Throw him in defense mode. I will bring Draezad in. And now we don't want to finish this Era Elemental off just yet, because again, we want to get our... I don't think I can curse him, no. We don't want to risk losing that Mammoth, so I'm hoping that this will just trade shot for shot here and not get killed. That's totally fine. Now I can bring Draezad in and drop a tier 2 revive. There we go. So our Mammoth Rider is back in action. And now we can whittle this poor air elemental down with ranged attack after ranged attack here. There you can see that Banefire, just the 3 different elements compared to the 2 elements of Black Bolts. It's quite a nice attack. That's what I like about the Draconian Reanimators. And then, you know what? I think we will get the execution with the Wrath Kings. And they have lifesteal, of course, so it's an efficient way to heal them up as well. So that was really nice. Look at that big buff in casting points we just got. The other reason I wanted to do that... oof. I think we'll go Dark Sun because I don't want to have everybody having luck. That's just annoying. So what we'll do here is we will summon... Oh, I'm tempted to add another unit here. It might be worth just... I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to really make sure that this unit is able to actually take this out. No question about it. And then I'll send one of those units over to reinforce my human converted city here that's now Frostling once that's done for. Okay. Fortunately, Sheila is now at level 7, so we can get Greater Reanimate Undead for her now. So that is tremendously useful, as we have another tomb here we can raid. What you can start to see is that I'm getting all of these really high tier units, and I'm going to have trouble upkeeping them. So I'm going to really have to use combat to keep financing my progress here. You could sort of think of like basically combat is the lifeblood of the Necromancer, at least for me, the way that I play them. Again, I'd love to hear in the comments if anybody has strategies for offsetting kind of this conundrum in terms of the relative lack of growth and the economic difficulties that a Necromancer can potentially face. It could just be my playstyle, I don't actually know. But it is something that I've kind of run into routinely as I've been playing. So, these units are starting to get pretty beat up, and that is okay. So we'll throw these guys in, and we'll actually take Sheila, because again, Sheila now has... I think we'll try and maybe get the Archon Revenant Caster and the Reanimator just to have some more healing units. I'm not particularly interested in having those carrion birds. They're not of any real extreme value aside from maybe just as another scout of some kind. But we'll see what we can procure here in this battle. So I'm really going to try and take these Revenants out. We are going to charge in, do some damage. We're going to bring our White Witch in, soften them up a little bit. Now we do have to be careful because obviously they tend to want to come in and wall up our hero. And those birds are actually, again, they're very... You don't think they're going to do a lot of damage, and then they hit you with a nice flank attack, and boy, does it hurt. There we go. Fortunately, everything's kind of working out, so it looks like we're going to be okay. We could try a Control Undead. We got it. Okay, nice. So now we don't have to worry about that unit. It's on our team, as long as my hero doesn't die, of course. Because something to note is that if the unit that mind-controlled or converted or whatever the unit gets killed, it actually frees up the unit that was under its control. So just something to keep in mind. You know what? Let's give that a try. Ah, no such luck on that one. That is okay. We will get the kill that way. And then we can actually go tie up. So let's see what happens here. Those lost souls could be kind of pesky. Okay, no big deal there. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Greater Reanimate Undead to get those casters. And they have Heal Undead, which is again a very useful ability for them. Let's maybe heal up some of our guys here before we end this battle. So all the other units are dead, so we're going to have to kill off this Reanimator, it would appear. Before the battle ends, let's see. Yeah, we can heal up the Mammoth Rider. This is another good strategy, just to make sure you get off as many heals as possible before the battle is over. Just to save you having to wait a turn on the world map, which can occasionally happen if you don't. Ooh. Cursed Helm of the Tower. I think I'm going to sell this to really get some extra gold. I'm really not a fan of units that provide any kind of weakness. Although we do have really good blight resistance thanks to being undead. I just don't want to entertain that, so we are going to sell that off, and look at that. We get a nice buffer of gold, so now I have a bit of time to kind of play with. I don't have to worry quite so much. So now what we're going to do is what I've been talking about doing for a while here. we are going to split this up. So Sheila is going to take a few of these units, I think. I think I'm actually going to give Sheila the Frostling units because she has that cold aura, which I've neglected a whole bunch of times, the Dome of Frost here. And that actually isn't so fun for units that aren't Frostlings. So I think we'll also give her the Orc Reanimator. But I'm going to make Draezad's army here. And actually, we'll give her the Cadaver as well. We're going to take the Wrath King and the Deathbringer here with me, with Draezad. And we will take the Draconian Reanimator as well with Draezad here. And then these two can also go... I forgot about the Node Serpent. The Node Serpent can go with Sheila. And the Carrion Bird will most likely go and be a reinforcement here. The Revenant Caster, I think will go with Draezad here. And that will work out pretty nicely. Oh, and the Cadaver there will join Sheila as well to provide a nice melee tank. They've got melee tanks there, whereas in this army I've got my 2 melee units here. Bonus, of course, being the ability to Ghoul Curse and get more units. So that's a really, really good strategy for growing my army. And that's the main reason why I'm not prioritizing production of units in my cities. So we're going to end our turn. So I'll just take a quick drink here while the independents are moving. Oh, and it looks like we had a domain invasion. Oh boy. Okay, well, we got to get up there to deal with that. Fortunately, well, can't quite get all the way up there, but you know what? This is probably coming from up there, so I think we're going to just head straight up there with Sheila here to engage that unit. Kill them off, protect this city. We are then going to fly up our Carrion Bird and park him in the city once he's ready. And these units can, I guess, progress into the Shadow Realm and see what's there. We may have to get the ability to embark soon so that we aren't trapped by the water. Up until this point, we haven't really needed it. Ooh, okay. Wojciech the Protector. He's a level 3 Art Druid. Now, the one thing I do like about Druids when you're playing Necromancer is... We'll take a quick peek at his talents. So, he doesn't start with it, but pretty quickly, Druids can get an ability that actually lets them heal undead units, which most other heroes don't have. So, for example, a Theocrat can only heal living units. So we're gonna definitely take him to join us. I believe it's called... Here, we'll upgrade him since we've just gotten him. Here it is, Nourishing Meal. So this one actually... Undead units can be healed with this ability, but are unaffected by the morale bonus. Incorporeal and machine units can't be affected. So that's a really, really nice thing to note, is that Druids, Archdruids, can actually act as like a slightly less effective Necromancer when it comes to maintaining a stack of undead units. So we're going to get Spirit of the Land to really help protect our undead units from spirit damage. And we're going to get Nature's Resistance as well to give us a little bit more spell resistance. So that's really nice to have him along. Again, I'm going to leave him as the city guard just temporarily. And then in the meantime here, we are going to Operation Reclaim. Neurdrift is now commencing. So these two should be pretty easy pickings for an army of Lost Souls with a sorcerer that can provide some serious buffs. But I guess I shouldn't get overconfident. That's kind of how I got into that mess in the first place, so we'll see what happens. Okay, let's proceed to the Shadow Realm. Here we go. Ooh. Well, there's a tomb, so that's going to be good to raid. Some more of those shadow demons. Some gold. Ooh. And of course this caster is out of movement points. We could try going with 4 units. Maybe we'll do just a bit of scouting and see what we see. I see a farm. Let's just see how strong the units in this tomb are. I could probably handle it, but I think I'm going to wait until my caster is able to join that little party there. Now here's something to note, is that this mod, the Shadow Realm expansion pack mod, it adds in the Archons, which if you've played Age of Wonders 2, you'll remember them. They were sort of like a race of angelic humanoids that were aligned to the good here. They're dedicated to good. And these guys are what actually created the Revenants, the undead, in the base game without the mod. But they left them the mortal realm, and any of their crypts that were left behind ended up getting infested with dark magic or something along the lines of that. Again, feel free to correct me in the comments, and that led to basically the undead that we see in the main game. But it turns out in this expansion that there are some Archons left that are in the Shadow Realm, so we'll get to fight them. And of course, we're aligned with evil, so they're going to be our opponents, that's for sure. I think what we'll do here, since we do have some extra movement, is we're going to take out this farm. Just because we can. So just some humans and boars here. It should be relatively easy to take these guys out. I really like those draconian reanimators. Boy, are they nice. I'm going to play this again relatively conservative. Let my Wrath King soak up some hits. Or not. That is okay. Now in a really good position here to dish out some damage, though. So we'll come in and get a nice flank on those halberdmen. And then I think we'll basically just finish them off here. Although, maybe we should drop a heal. Let's see, does anybody need it? Yeah, we'll heal the Deathbringers and then just finish them off here. There we go. Perfect. Okay. We don't need the boar. We'll just sell it for a little extra cash. And that will conclude the movement here, basically. Now it looks like we're on a bit of an island, so this may be a dead end, but we'll have to see. At the very least, we will raid this tomb, and we'll take out these guys here on this gemstone mine. So let's go back to the surface here. This battle's going to have to wait another turn. Hopefully they don't try and siege the city. And this battle will happen next turn as well. And I don't think I'm going to cast anything else at the moment here. Just want to make sure there are no farms or anything that I can convert. No. So we'll end our turn there and keep moving. Oh, well, my worst fears are kind of realized here, so unfortunately my little ice scraper is going to be attacked. Nothing I can really do about that. We'll see what we can do. Fortunately, the ice scraper has a ranged attack, and none of these units are going to be able to go immediately through the wall. So I think we'll just try and do as much damage as possible, knowing full well that we're probably going to lose the ice scraper. Let's see if I can freeze that mammoth. Very low chance. Oof. Yeah, that ability to attack that wall is not so nice. I think we're going to take a step back just so that... There we go. Uh-oh. Well, this isn't going so well. But I kind of knew this was probably not going to go my way. Fortunately, I will be able to take the city back almost immediately using my army there. So they're going to be able to flank me now. And there we go. Well, at least they did a little bit of damage. Boy, my city security here is lacking. I need to really step my city security game up, as you guys can clearly see. I do tend to get a little overextended as a necromancer when I play, because I just get so wrapped up in acquiring new units and leveling up my heroes that I basically prioritize that almost at the expense of everything else. Once again, at level 8, I'm actually going to wait and not apply any upgrades just yet. And you'll see why once I level up a little bit further. Okay, let's take the city back first and foremost here. We'll park our bird, and we will charge in for the fight here. Let's get some revenge for that poor little Frostling ice scraper who died all alone before his friends could get to him. Alright, we're going to drop Frozen Flames on our new Tier 3 Ghoul Node Serpent, which is an extremely nice unit to have. Very, very happy about that. Again, so early in the game, it's really nice to have a number of Tier 3 units. I feel quite spoiled already by that. Now, I want to press that advantage, so my next step is really going to be to start exploring. So I may start, I think one of my next plans here is going to be to send out a few, maybe once I take that other city back with my other army, I would like to essentially send out my... Oh, and of course I keep exposing my units. I need to stop doing that with that hero. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send out those Lost Souls to start trying to find the other opponents. And I really want to press my early game advantage here of having Tier 3 units before, I'm assuming, before most of the other opponents will. And that's going to give me a massive advantage in combat, especially if I level them up and focus on getting them some solid XP, which obviously I'm going to do because they're so powerful. They're going to form the vanguard of my attack here. We're going to have some mammoth on mammoth action here. There we go. And then we can finish them off. Just eat a corpse for 1 health, why not? Well, they went for my cadavers, so I'll drop a heal. And I would like to level this Node Serpent up, so we'll go for the kill. And there we go. It's like it never happened. We got our city back. Unfortunately, it's reset the production on the Harvesters Guild, so really, really not a great thing that we lost the city, but at least we got it back quite quickly. So we'll drop our carrion bird on the city, but I'm going to try and really make sure that I have multiple, at least 2 or 3 units per city to make sure that they are safe. Alright, we've done 1 siege, let's do another. Now this time we've got 3 Lost Souls and our Sorcerer Hero. And again, that Sorcerer Hero is going to be able to buff these guys to keep them from being killed on their way up here, because obviously these units have some ranged attacks that are not going to be so fun. So let's kind of see how we do here. Okay, well fortunately that Omen of the Dove is actually going to kind of help us out here. Push in a little bit further. We'll wait 1 more turn here before we cast anything. It's alright, the hero can kind of soak up some of those hits. And now these poor unsuspecting scoundrels are... I could go for the flank here, but I actually know what I'm going to do. This is a 200 IQ big brain play. We're going to flank them there, and then flank them again and get that nice kill. I don't even think we're going to have to cast any spells here. And then can we get a nice hit here? Yes, we can. Now they're going to probably sprint. Yep. And that is okay. Let's get the kill here with this if we can. Yes, okay. So, that worked out pretty well. We were able to get our city back. Unfortunately, that was a couple of turns too long, I would say, but still happened. We still got the city back. Let's get our mana income going here. I noticed that we're starting to run kind of low, so let's start building a shrine. In our capital city here, we just finished the Cathedral of Bones, so that's really nice. I think we will also build a temple just to, again, get that mana income really going. So again, we have to be careful. We're really playing with our gold here, so we're going to have to make sure that we aren't running the coffers too dry. So this Lost Soul that's in rough shape, I'm going to send him out to the north as a scout here. And I'm going to kind of keep him... Oh, we can pick up some mana. That'll actually help us out. And of course, we've got another cave entrance, so that's going to be worth exploring just to find out if there's anything potentially dangerous there that's going to threaten us. Alright, so back to Draezad in the Shadow Realm. So we want to raid, definitely want to raid this tomb. And try and maybe acquire another Deathbringer and maybe and a Frostling Reanimator. So it would match our race. That's going to help us out again tremendously, getting another healing unit and another strong tier 3 melee unit. Once again, I really think this is a solid strategy for acquiring strong units early before your opponents do, and letting you get a real leg up on combat. You can also use these units then to raid some of the higher tier treasure structures like the Forbidden Sanctums and the Lost Libraries, to get another leg up in that way as well. So, alright, so let's take out this Deathbringer here. Fortunately, they are not so strong against magic because they are orc Deathbringers. So we are going to bring them back. Kill off that warg. They will probably come back though because of the Chant of Unlife, but that is okay. Drop a heal on our new unit. There they come. Fortunately, if any of my units die, they are undead, so it won't matter if they won't come back under the enemy's control, but a little bit annoying when we've got to make sure that Deathbringer doesn't die, because if that Deathbringer goes down, I am not going to be able to revive, as I've already used Greater Reanimate Undead once. So take out those Lost Souls. We'll take out the Ghoul Warg. Now all that's left is that Frostling Reanimator. We will soften the Reanimator up just a little bit. Okay, no big deal there. So let's Shadow Step in behind. So first things first, we'll come in and try and... Oh, well. No bloodshed required. White Pouch of Potent Herbs. What is this? Cure disease and healing. Doesn't affect undead units, so that's not really going to help us, and we're undead, so we're pretty much immune to poison, although we can be weakened. So I think I'm going to sell this again just to really increase our gold supply here. I think that's probably the best course of action there. Okay. So let's take these guys out here. I've never battled these Archons before, the non-undead Archons. So let's kind of see how strong they are. Ooh, Blessed Arrows. I like how they look very, very similar. You can see how they've been modeled to look like the Revenant version, but obviously this is what the Revenant version used to be. Once again, this mod does a really, really good job, and it introduces a lot of content. So again, if you're interested in the mod, I'll link it in the video description, or at least I'll have the names of the ones that I'm using. Just so that if you're interested yourself, you can look it up and install it and try it out. You know, the Age of Wonders 3 community is really quite fantastic. They I think I'm just going to leave my Deathbringer back just to avoid getting in any unnecessary damage here because it's kind of low. But the Age of Wonders 3 community is really still very active for a game that released, I think, in 2014. So you know, that's 6 years ago as of the filming of this video, basically, and yet it's still a extremely vibrant game with a really active community. You know, there's a couple of other YouTubers that play this game. The biggest inspiration for me is actually Bob from Black Arrow Gaming. Check out his channel for sure if you're interested in more Age of Wonders 3 content. His videos are fantastic. I used to watch them quite often over the last couple of years, and he's actually part of why I thought, hey, why not make videos myself? So thanks, Bob, if you're ever watching this. You were an inspiration to me, as corny as it might sound. Okay, so I don't want to send out too many of these units because, again, I'm a little paranoid now. I don't want to risk losing the city. I think I'm going to leave the rest of these guys here for now. But what I will do, I kind of want to trade these heroes off, although I don't think... Yeah, Nourishing Meal doesn't affect incorporeal units, so he wouldn't be able to heal them anyway. So I think we'll just hang out. We'll camp out for now. And I think we're good for that turn now, so we're going to end our turn. Okay, and we are being attacked here, so we've got some Shadow Demons that are extremely aggressive, attacking Sheila here in her stack. So it's kind of looking like this is probably just going to be free XP for me, which, hey, I'm happy to take. I think we'll put Frozen Flames on Sheila just to give her a tiny bit more bite. We're going to cruise in our Node Serpent there. Start hitting them here. Oof, that shock damage, boy oh boy. This Node Serpent hits hard. Really, really like this Node Serpent. I believe this is a tier 3 summon unit for Sorcerer class. If you're playing as a Sorcerer, you have access to this unit. If you choose to go down the unit production spec, I guess. Damn, they look cool too. Okay, so now our city is safe for the moment, but I would like to investigate up north before we decide potentially to head underground or explore any of these other structures. I'm remembering too there's a tomb there which might be worth raiding as well. So let's head up here. Ah yes, here we go. And this is where that mammoth penguin army came from. So let's clear this out because we do not want this hanging around our city and harassing us down the road. So let's take this out. No mercy. Still want to get those evil points. That way down the road too, if I want to ever do anything good like create a vassal or something, it's not gonna, you know, push me back into being neutral or anything like that. If I'm overwhelmingly evil, it gives me some leeway if I ever want to do something good. Let's drop a curse on that polar bear. There we go. We'll use the Node Serpent there for some protection. You might notice I'm starting to get a little more aggressive, make my decisions a bit faster. As your units get stronger, you can can kind of get a little faster and looser with it, especially once your hero is able to revive both your tier 1 and 2 and your tier 3 and 4 units with the combination of the two lesser and greater reanimate undead skills. So if you notice that I'm kind of doing that, that's kind of the reason. Also, obviously, my units are getting quite a bit stronger thanks to the addition of these tier 3 units, and then also just the over time gaining the experience. That is one thing I really do enjoy about the Age of Wonders game series, is the fact that you can take these tier 1 units or tier 2 units or whatever, and once they gain experience, they become very viable units almost all the way to endgame, really. I mean, eventually they're going to get outscaled by the tier 3 and 4 units, but if you have a champion tier 2 unit that's championed a few times over, it can last you almost the whole game, which is something that I really enjoy. Okay, Shield of the Tribal Warrior. So we get a shield. I believe Sheila already has a shield, and I don't think Draezad is in need of one that badly, so we're going to sell this for gold as well. Always nice to have a nice surplus of gold there. Alright, let's get that mana first off. And then let's just take a quick peek underground and see what we can see. Okay, so we've got a road. We're a little ways off from where we have explored previously, obviously. So that's going to potentially be worth exploring here. We can maybe follow the road and see if we can find a city. And it looks like this is all dead end here, so this is kind of the Shadow Sea or whatever you'd call that. We're unable to traverse there, and I don't even think with Embark you'd be able to, but I could be wrong. So I think we'll go up and clear that out as well. One of these units should probably come with me. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let this unit be its own, because we've got a healer and a melee that's really strong and able to create more units. So I think I'm going to actually send them back. They can go boost. I'm going to send them up here. And you know what? What I'm eventually going to do is I will take Wozek here, the Protector, and I will add him to this stack here with these two units, and maybe I'll summon another Lost Soul or something, and that'll actually be a pretty viable unit. And I'll have the hero to lead it, and then I'll add another base guard or two there. Oh, we've got Lesser Shadowstalker. Okay, we've got to be real careful about this guy. I'm now very glad that I left 2 of these units here. That should be enough to deter them from attacking, although if they were to attack, they would pose a pretty legitimate threat, actually, so I'm going to have to be careful. Once again, I don't want to get too overconfident here. Alright, so we're going to end the turn, and then we're going to basically take a look around here and figure out kind of what the next turn is going to look like once we see where these units move. Particularly this guy, if he starts getting aggressive on my city, I may have to... Also, we're getting real close to having Vampiric Hunger. Okay, so he's taken off. That's positive. Oh, fantastic. So Sheila has just hit level 8. Again, I think I'm going to hold off. Actually, with Sheila, I may actually invest in Necromancy 1. And then next time... You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab Raise Dead. That way I have a bit of a bombshell spell that can really help me out if I'm in tough. Especially because Sheila won't come back in my throne city if she goes down, so I don't want to lose her. Whereas Draezad, worst case scenario, if he gets killed, at least he comes back in my throne city. Albeit a few turns later and all my research gets put on hold, which is obviously not a very desirable outcome, but... I wonder now if it would be worth... I think we're gonna want to go overland here, or via this little sea. So I'm gonna send this unit up here, and I'm gonna risk. This is maybe not a great plan, but I'm going to send Wozek over. Oh, and I forgot about all these little resource structures. Well, this might actually be worth raiding then, so maybe I'll bring these guys back now that I think about it. Group them up with Wozek here, and then we can take out these 3 resource structures to help level them up a bit. We can also grab that treasure, and maybe even convert a unit or 2 with my Deathbringer. We could grab one of these Frostlings, or one of these Elf units, maybe one of these Dwarves, although these guys aren't particularly good or anything, but just to have a little bit more, you know, some expendable kind of meat shield units again. Alright, we're going to work on the Great Temple now. Again, we're getting close to the Imperial Palace there, so we're going to keep progressing on that path. So let's get this guy scouting a little bit. Okay, so there's some Lost Souls there. We're actually going to want to avoid them. So let's head down just so we don't have to deal with them. Okay, and we've got a goblin, big goblin city down here. Okay. That's something we're going to want to grab just for, again, the economic boost of having another city. So we got to remember that that's down there, and maybe start planning to expand down there in the near future here. Again, I don't want to get overstretched, which I'm already in danger of doing. I already start making all these plans, and then I don't want to get flanked, and lose my cities like I already did. So let's raid this tomb of Lestial. Ooh, we could get a Wraith to go with our Wraith King. That would actually be quite useful. So let's try and get that Wraith. I think the Wraith and the Wraith King are honestly 2 of my favorite units in the entire game. I actually like Wraith Kings even more than some of the tier 4 undead units, quite frankly. I just think they're absolutely fantastic. The one thing I haven't really talked about is that they are a support unit, and that becomes important when you get an Empire upgrade for the Necromancer called, I think it's called Healers of the Dead. And what it essentially does is it gives all your support units the Heal Undead ability. And so it basically turns all your support units, so the White Witches here, or the any of the other support units that I'm able to convert from other races, it gives them the ability to heal your undead stacks and turns each of them into like a mini reanimator, basically. And of course, because Wraith Kings and Wraiths are support units, they benefit from that, and that makes them extremely powerful, because not only are they relatively tough and high damage output units, but they can also heal, and it's a big heal. It's a 25 heal. It's not some piddly little one. They can really make a big difference in battle, to support themselves or to also support other units if they need it. Alright, we're going to see. Can we get the kill here? Almost. I'm going to take that warg out. Now, the only thing I don't want to happen is to have these guys... Okay, we're alright. I was worried that they were going to come running down and take the place on top of what is the corpse now of that Wraith, because then I wouldn't be able to do this. So we've got a new Wraith unit. Very useful. We're actually going to bring our cadavers in and flank these Hellhounds. And then we're going to come drop a heal on our Node Serpent, make sure that it's nice and healthy. Okay, so what's left to kill? We've got Revenant Infantry and the Ghoul Warg. So the Ghoul Warg is not of any tremendous concern, but we can just take it out. There we go. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get an attack in. Ooh, and I forgot about that. Again, nothing too crazy here. My units are strong enough that they can handle that, as you can see there, without too much trouble. We will drop another heal. So let's take out this Hellhound now. So I don't actually want it to attack this guy, so I'm going to use up its movement, move in, and just do a single attack. And then I actually don't mind if these guys die, because if they die, then I can revive them with full health. So yeah, they're not going to die though. Yeah, and we'll finish them off with them. Okay, perfect. Ooh, Shining Shield of Reflection. This is actually a pretty good shield. Projectile reflection and standard shield bonus. We are actually going to take this one. And I think we're actually going to send this to Draezad because I don't think he has a shield. And we've got a new Wraith. So this Wraith is going to, I believe, join probably this army up here, or alternatively be a part of Wozek's gang. Although I'm feeling like it's probably going to be better served up here as a garrison on the front lines here of my empire, to help that unit be a little bit stronger. So now I think I'm going to push this Sheila's unit here. I'm going to push it further north, and also kind of further west. So we're going to go up that way and see what we find. Again, I think we're still okay for spells in terms of what we might want to cast. But we are done the Vampiric Hunger research as a result, I think, of some of those battles. So now we have to make some choices about what we're going to do next. I think I'm going to get basic seafaring just so that I don't feel trapped in. I'm just going to, yeah, I think that's going to be the plan. We'll get basic seafaring, get that out of the way, and then we'll go back to working on the Empire upgrades, because I would really like to get Healers of the Dead eventually. Again, I really like that one. I think it's a very powerful Empire upgrade. Nice, got some extra gold. That's going to be helpful. Okay, so yeah, this is basically a dead end, but that's okay. We got some more units out of this, and we're going to get some experience out of here, which is obviously always of benefit to us. So let's take out these Shadow Demons. So this is a Shadow Demon Harvester. This is a tier 3 unit. It's magical origin. Oh, it's like a queen. It can spawn larvae. Interesting. Okay. So we'll just kind of play it a little cautious, but I think we can probably get in there kind of aggressive here. Again, I'll throw the Wrath King in. Could try and Ghoul Curse it. That might be worth it here because it is a tier 3 unit. I think what I'm going to do is, yeah, just soften up that larva. And then we'll just throw him in defense mode here. See what happens. Looked like the Ghoul Curse was not effective. Let's just double check. Yeah, so it's immune. It was worth a try, I guess. We'll take out that demon larva, and then we will drop some massive damage there with the Wraith King. Oh, and of course we did get a shield, but the one that we're getting is far superior, so we will sell this. So we're doing very, very good for gold, which is awesome. Again, I'm not super worried about it being in the negative per turn, as long as we have a nice big surplus to draw from when needed. So that's where I really try my best to use combat as a way to basically keep the cash flowing. It's kind of it's a risky strategy, and it can definitely backfire on you. But again, that's what I'm doing here this game. But that's also why I want to get more cities, and that Goblin City underground I think we're really going to try and push for. So let's just zoom out here and take a quick peek at my little empire. It's just starting out. We've got our capital of Dastara nicely growing. Newer Drift is back in our control. Dorovar again with traded hands a little bit, but now back in our control. And our hero units are now very, very strong, as we've got tier 3s all over the place. Sheila's unit here with this Node Serpent is very strong. And again, if we look back at Draezad's army, extremely powerful already for how early we are in the game, I would say. So I think with this, we're going to call it the end of episode 3. We'll save the game here real quick. Always that little delay when we go to save, of course. We will call this one save number 3. And with that, once again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.